Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, guess what? I'm back in my car for once. Throwback to 2016 where I started making all these videos. But as usual, I didn't have time. I don't have time to do it at home, so I gotta do it in my car. What are we gonna do today? Well, we're gonna talk about 3 different things, kind of short. Really don't have a lot of time to talk about things in depth. And again, other YouTubers have done this much more in depth with better videos, better animation than just someone sitting in their car. So I'm not going to go ad nauseum about it, but we're going to talk about Sargon leaving YouTube, Brett Kavanaugh, and Republicans in general. So let's go through it, shall we? So as you guys probably know, Sargon of Akkad said he's not going to do political commentary videos anymore. He's going to not quit entirely off the internet, but just, not do it as often. He's going to do his Thinkery videos. He's going to do his gaming stuff and whatever. But basically, This Week in Stupid and his main political stuff, he's not going to do anymore. So there's lots of different reactions that people had from it. Lots of people don't like him. Lots of people do not like how he changed the way he did things, his views on things. I'd say within the last year, I think was when I first started noting it, or basically in 2018. I personally didn't have a problem with it. He's actually my favorite YouTuber, and he's the reason why I started making political videos in the first place. So I'm very sad to see him go. I think I've seen almost every single This Week in Stupid, if not every single damn one of them. And man, they are funny. He is very good at calling out bullshit and making it entertaining and talking about issues that lots of other people, definitely mainstream media, won't ever talk about. There are so many topics, not just in Britain, but other things in general, that I would have never known if he didn't talk about it. And he offers a different perspective. So not only does he talk about new things that mainstream media doesn't talk about, but then he offers a new perspective that they would never give on anyway. Like Gamergate, for example. If you just listen to mainstream media talk about Gamergate, it's just a bunch of toxic, neckbeard, misogynists being mean towards women on the internet, in gaming communities, whatever. But then when you talk to him about it, or listen to his videos, completely different perspective, and you realize, wow, that is literally not what happened at all. Like, not even completely false reality. It's actually when female game developers slept with male video game journalists in order to get favorable reviews. Completely corrupt behavior. These toxic women would enter gaming communities, be incredibly toxic and mean, and when people would call them out on it, they would cry misogyny and just ruin communities of different genres of games or different games in general, and then claim they were the victims the entire time. Like, really shitty shit. Now, that was a caveat. That was just one example of how he brought a completely different perspective to an issue that I would have no knowledge of if I didn't listen to him. Now, other YouTubers talk about it, obviously, but he was the main one because he was personally involved in it. So that's another reason why I'm sad that he is not talking about this stuff anymore, because not only is he entertaining, I think he's right on almost every single issue. There's some issues I disagree with him on. I made a response video to him. One of the few response videos that I did against a YouTuber was against him, because me and him don't see eye to eye on Trump. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we disagree on it. Fine, whatever. I don't hate the guy. He has talked with many other different people that have wildly different perspectives that he does, and he still sits down and talks with them. Lots of people didn't like what he did recently when he started going after the alt-right more in 2018 than he did previously. It's not like he exclusively did that. He went after feminists and social justice warriors, all per the usual, like what he's been doing for quite some time. But then he started going after the alt-right and the radical right. And people were like, Sargon, why are you doing this? Why are you betraying us? It's like, no, he was never on that side. He was never on the alt-right side. What he's against is radicalism. It's just that the radical left was such a more threat for, almost all the entire time he's been on YouTube, because most of his time on YouTube was during Obama. But then with Trump, white nationalists, radical rights, the alt-right, whatever you want to call it, rose to prominence, and that's the first time lots of people heard about it. So he's like, you know what, this radicalism, the social justice warriors on the right, because that's basically what they are. They're social justice warriors for the right. They're a mirror image of the social justice warriors that he has been fighting for years and years and years. He's like, you know what, I'm tired of the bullshit. So that's why he debated Richard Spencer and Andrew England, etc., whatever. And lots of people said he did bad in those debates. No, he did pretty damn well, and he exposed them for what they are. He exposed the holes in their plans, their holes in the ideology, whatever. Just an example I'm going to pull out, because the Andrew England one, the one he did on Baked Alaska, rip Baked Alaska's channel. That was sad debacle, but we're getting off topic here. The debate he did with Andrew England was actually much more better than one Richard Spencer, for example, because Andrew England was much more specific in his points than Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer talked in all these grandiose, non-tangible ideas that are kind of hard to refute, but Andrew England was very specific. Some of the things I remember he talked about was how to get, he wants lots of the Mexicans to leave the United States. Well, how is he going to do that? Well, he's not going to use force, Andrew England said. He said, we're just going to take away the right to work. And then Sargon said all the holes in that plan, like that's going to increase illegal working. Like, you think there's lots of Mexicans doing illegal jobs now, or working not on the official on the books now? That's going to quadruple if you take away their right to work. That's violating their constitutional rights. It's oppressing them for no reason. Andrew England thought that all Mexicans are illegals because he's like, yeah, if we take away the right to work, and just make him produce a green card or a visa or some kind of identification, then they can't work. Well, what about all the Mexicans that have them, Andrew? What about the Mexicans that have been living here for hundreds of years? You know there are Mexicans that have been living here legally for hundreds of years, right? But in his mind, no, it's so black and white. All black people have never contributed anything to society, to American society. He said that. Whites did everything. Blacks didn't do anything. That's his exact words. He says, blacks didn't do anything. Whites did everything. And then Sargon's like, well, when you make this ethno-state, you're going to infringe on people's rights that they are guaranteed by the Constitution. Lots of people are going to be angry, rightfully so. Lots of people that are going to be angry have guns. What are you going to do about that? And Andrew England's like, well, we're not going to kill them, because he was so mad that Sargon kept on calling him out. It's like, your plan is going to shoot white people in the face, saying this is for the white race. And Andrew's like, no, man, no. We're not going to shoot them. We're not going to shoot the guns. We're going to use tasers and smoke grenades, non-lethal force. There might be a few people who actually have guns that we have to kill, but for the most part, no, we'll do it non-lethally. Yeah, like that's going to work out. Like, you're going to suppress hundreds of thousands of pissed off people with their rights being taken away, and other people who are oppressed, who are angry. You're taking away their neighbors' rights. That's another thing that Sticks and Hexenhammer pointed out. While Andrew's plan is not taking away Sticks Hexenhammer's rights, he will still take up arms against Andrew England's ethno-state, because he is breaking the rights of his fellow citizens, breaking the constitutional rights. And we have the right as Americans to use force against the government whenever it does that. So Sticks Hexenhammer and lots of other white people are going to be fighting this ethno-state too. So basically the whole summary of this was that Sargon exposed the holes in their plans, their holes in their ethno-state, the holes in their ideology, their holes in their logistics that Andrew England kept getting worked up about. And the alt-right hated him for that. Oh my God, they hated him. That's why they cheered whenever he said he's not going to do politics anymore. Then they jeered him whenever he said, well, it's draining to do his job. To anyone who does politics on YouTube, it is draining. Anyone who says otherwise is fooling themselves, or they're not doing it correctly. Because it is draining. You have to read the news, you have to read all this depressing shit about fucking retards doing retarded ass shit that ruin the lives of millions of people, and then talk about it. It is draining. It is much easier to unplug, and there's times when I unplug for a while. He's like, I'm done doing this shit. So basically, I'm sad that Sargon left. He was my biggest influencer, and who knows how long the break is. It might be 3 weeks, it might be 3 months, it might be 3 years, who knows. Anyway, sad to see him go. And no, he didn't get chased off by the alt-right. The alt-right didn't win against him. He blew them out every single time he talked against them, because his argument was solid. It was backed up by the Constitution. It was backed up by the ideology that, when implemented correctly, works. People look at Western liberalism, not liberals today, like classical liberals, the ideology that built the United States, and say it's doomed to fail because it's too soft on immigration. It eventually leads to too soft on immigration, non-whites taking over the U.S., whatever. It's like, no, they're doing it incorrectly. We are not following the ideology that built this country anymore. This is a perverse joke of Western classical liberalism. So you can't point to the ideology, which is radical leftism, that is destroying this country, and say, look, see, this Western classical liberalism isn't working. We need racist white nationalism in order to save this country. Now, what you need to do is follow the damn Constitution. It doesn't matter who does it, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, I don't give a shit. As long as you follow the goddamn Constitution, this country will continue and prosper. It's not prospering right now because we're not following it. We don't need alt-right ideology to save this country. We need to follow the Constitution. The Constitution is direct opposition to alt-right and white nationalism. Anyway, talked about that before. Getting off topic. Let's go on to the second thing. The Brett Kavanaugh and Republicans in general. I'll combine these last two together because they're related. So right now it is 2:30. As of last time I checked, they have not voted to confirm him. They're supposed to vote an hour ago, but you know how Congress takes fucking forever to do anything. It looks like he will be confirmed. Lots of other people again have done much better analysis of these hearings than I will, because I'm doing the too long didn't read, very informal version. But in listening to the hearings yesterday, which I did for hours, it has made me realize that the Republicans are much better overall than the Democrats. 2 years ago, when I was criticizing Trump and Hillary, saying that it didn't matter who would win, both of their parties suck and both of them would run the country into the ground equally, just in different ways, that has changed in these past 2 years. We have seen the Republicans become more moderate in these last 2 years and seen the Democrats go way farther to the extreme than I could ever have imagined that it was possible for them to go this far left. And now, lots of people will disagree with me about that. They'll say, the Republicans haven't gone moderate. What are you talking about? You yourself has said they became more extreme. Yeah, they did for quite some time. Recently, they haven't. The main hiccups that I had, well, the main hiccups, that's the incorrect word. The main problems I had with the Republican Party and why I voted for Obama in 2008, some of the main issues was like gay rights. Lots of them didn't believe in gay rights. It took a very long time for them to support gay rights. There's still lots of Republicans who don't, but they're in the minority now. The people pushing for gay rights were Democrats. That was the main issue that I had against Republicans, which is one of the reasons why I didn't vote for them. But now, most Republicans are okay with it. They don't want gay people to have special rights, more rights than straight people, but most of them are okay with gay rights. They're okay with them having equal protection in the workplace, and they're okay with them getting married. There are a few ones that don't, obviously. I'm not saying all of them. In fact, almost all of the opposition to gay marriage comes from Republicans, but again, it's a minority now. Their views are changing. The younger Republicans, most of them are okay with gay marriage. Another problem I had with them back in the day was that the huge amount of wars that they were getting into seemingly all the time. Now, while we are still in a lot of wars, we are not doing huge invasions like Afghanistan and Iraq. Donald Trump is opposed to wars like that. The younger Republicans do not want foreign interventions that drag on for so long, cost trillions of dollars, and get thousands of American soldiers killed. Most young Republicans do not want that anymore. Now, they still support selling weapons to terrorist regimes, which they use to terrorize their own civilians. That's still a major problem. It is. Not going to deny that. But at least we're making progress. At least they're saying, no, we do not want to get tangled up in Iraq for 20 years, in Afghanistan for 30 years. Most young Republicans do not want that anymore. They realize that it doesn't work. Democrats, on the other hand, love drone striking children and bombing people at weddings, apparently. Obama seemingly did it all the fucking time. Republicans are the anti-war party now, not Democrats. And watching now, how does that tie into Brett Kavanaugh? It all boils down to which party believes innocent until proven guilty, or we should believe women whenever they say they were sexually assaulted, no matter the circumstances, no matter what little or no how much little or enough evidence they have, no matter what the circumstances, believe women. You've seen just Google images of these people saying we should support women no matter what. Well, no, I don't believe in that. That's what the Democrats believe. That's what Democrats support. The Republicans are not anti-women. All they're saying is we should not believe 50% of this country, 50% women, we should not believe 50% of this country unequivocally without any regards to circumstances, or even if they have no evidence. No, that is such a horrible idea. To think you are guilty until proven innocent and put the burden on the person accused to defend himself and to prove a negative. No, that is a horrible idea, one of the cornerstones of this country. Innocent until proven guilty and due process. And the Democrats don't want that anymore. They don't want Kavanaugh on the Supreme Court because of gossip, of what women are saying without any evidence to support them, without any witnesses whatsoever. How could I possibly support that? Now that is, and the Republicans are better than that. Lindsey Graham, who I roasted in one of my earlier videos, I hate that guy. He is legit retarded. I swear to God, if he took an IQ test, it would be room temperature. I swear to God. But yet the Democrats are so bad, they made him look good. And I'm actually sitting there like, wow, I actually agree with Lindsey Graham. That is how bad the Democrats have gotten. They make bad, horrible Republicans seem good by comparison. People are like, the Republicans don't care about women. Only the Democrats care about women. No, they don't. This is all political. How can you not tell that this is political? The Democrats don't give a shit about women. When it's Democratic politicians being accused of beating or harassing or sexually assaulting women, they don't say a goddamn thing about it. But as soon as Kavanaugh is accused of something that is, you can't prove it because it wasn't rape and it happened more than 30 years ago, then suddenly, they care about women. Well, they don't care about the women of all the husbands and the sisters and the wives and of all the men that they are ruining their lives by falsely accusing them of all these crimes that there's no way they can prove. They don't care about women then do they? So what's the point of all this? The Kavanaugh hearings made me realize that I don't know who I'm going to vote for in November. I thought I was solidly libertarian, and libertarians are still clearly the best party, in my opinion. But the reason why I vote for them is because if I voted for the other two parties, they were equally as horrible. But now that's not the case anymore. Now I think the Republicans are better than Democrats in many areas. So now I have to think, well, do I vote for a party that I agree with, that I know won't win? Or do I compromise on certain issues that I don't agree with Republicans and vote for them, even though I think the Libertarians are better? Because the alternative to the Republicans winning are the Democrats, which are far, far worse. That's a question I have to ask myself. I didn't have to think about that. I was solidly Libertarian. I just did a video a couple of weeks ago how Matt Waters is much better than, what's his name? Tim Kaine? Yeah, Tim Kaine's running for governor of Virginia. Oh, no, for Senate. Well, I didn't compare him against Corey Stewart because it's less of a difference of how shitty they are. Corey Stewart sucks in many ways. But is he acceptable in order for the Democrats not to win? That's a question I have to ask myself. So that was the whole point of the Kavanaugh, and the Republicans have actually gotten more moderate in these last 2 years, or maybe let's say in the last year since Trump's officially been in office. It's made me realize how horrible the Democrats are, and how I cannot for the life of me support the policies or the ideology or the logic that they support. No, I do not support guilty until proven innocent. That doesn't mean I don't care about women. The two have nothing to do with each other. They are making such blatant false equivalencies that the hypocrisy is staggering, and something that's so vile and disgusting I could never support it. Just because you sit here and like, okay, well, these ladies have no evidence against Kavanaugh, so therefore, since I believe in innocence of proven guilty, I don't have a problem with Kavanaugh being on the Supreme Court. because they have no evidence. Apparently that to the Democrats means, oh, you hate women. You don't care about them. What the fuck are you talking about? No, that's nothing to do with each other. That you can completely care about women and still support Kavanaugh. That's why so many women support him. They don't see the two being mutually exclusive. And it's so sad that Democrats have narrowed it down to such a black and white issue as either you hate women or you support people not getting jobs because of gossip that has no evidence or witnesses at all. In fact, the only witnesses Ford can come up with said they have no idea what she's talking about. How? And so many liberals are brainwashed by this shit. They're moving me to the right, man. I was in the center, but after this shit, it's just like, no, I can't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So that's all my thoughts.